Hey guys, this is Chandra and I'm here to do the tutorial on the Hero folder folio. So I want to run through the measurements first. You will need one sheet that measures 4.5 by 7, one sheet that measures 3.5 by 7, one sheet that measures 2.5 by 7, one sheet that measures 5 by 8, and 3 pieces that measure 6 by 8. So as always, the first thing I'm going to do are the scores. One of these 6 by 8s you're going to put to the side because you're not going to score on it. The second 6 by 8 you're going to put it in so that the 6-inch side is at the top, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 1. You're going to do that to the second 6 by 8 sheet as well. 1/2 inch and 1. And again, the 6-inch side is at the top. Now, the 3 pieces that measure 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5 by 7, you're going to score them all the same way. So you're going to stick it in so that the 7-inch side is at the top, and you score at 1/2 inch, and then at 6.5. You're going to rotate it so that the shorter end is at the top, whichever it be, 2.5, 3.5, or 4.5, and then score at 1/2 inch. So basically you're creating the pocket and you're scoring at 1/2 inch on 3 sides, 2 short and 1 long on all 3 of these pieces. So now I'm doing the 3.5 by 7, scoring at 1/2 inch, rotating it at 1/2 inch and 6.5, 1/2 inch and 6.5, rotate it again, and 1/2 inch. Now, I am missing the pockets. I forgot about the pockets on the diagonal page. So, you're going to need 2 sheets that measure 6 by 4.5. So, we have, whoa, I'm going to cut this at 4.5. No, I'm going to cut this at 6. Then I will cut it at 4.5. We need 2 of these. And you're going to score these on 3 sides as well. So you're going to score on this when it's 6 inches at the top. You're going to score at 1/2 inch and 5.5. Rotate it so that the 4.5 inch side is at the top, and score at 1/2 inch. I'm going to do that to both of these. Can't believe I forgot the pockets. All right. So that is all the scoring that we're going to do. I'm putting my scoreboard on the floor, and I'm getting out my trimmer. The piece that measured 5 by 8, we're going to cut it at a diagonal from the top right-hand corner to the bottom left-hand corner. And these are the diagonal pockets. And yes, I know you can do it a different way, but I like my pockets being perfectly diagonal. Okay, and easier to map that way. So why is it not lining up? Hi, hair. Sorry, I had to get my head in there because you want to line up these points with the track of your cutter. So there you go, holding it down, and I'm cutting it so I get these 2 pieces. So now I can flip one over and put on the left side, and then the other one goes on the right side. So now we need to make little hinges for these. So I'm just going to cut a piece of scrap, and it has to at least be 8 inches because this side is 8 inches. And I'm just going to cut it 4 pieces at 1 inch. And then I lied when I said we don't have any more score, but you don't really have to score these. You're just going to fold these in half. And I'm just going to use my bone folder. Fold them. They don't have to be like perfect or anything. These are going to be your hinges, so you're not even going to see them. You kind of want a better job than that, though. So, you know, just so you know. It is easier to score them when you have thick cardstock like this. But whatever. There we go. Folding in the middle. So I hope everybody has a safe and happy 4th of July. You know, we are having some friends over tomorrow, and we're just gonna cook out and light the fireworks tomorrow. That way it's not, we don't have to work on Monday, but we have to work on Tuesday, so, you know, that way we can get to bed at a decent hour on Tuesday. Fixing this. Went today to get my hair cut, and I showed the lady a picture, and my hair went to the middle of my back, and I wanted it to my shoulders, or like at least for the front pieces to fall, you know, where my shoulder blade are. It goes like 2 inches below my ear. She like totally chopped my hair. That's what I get for going to Great Clips. Okay, so now we're going to take the 6x8 piece. That's going to be the back. So that's the piece that we did not do any scoring to. And the 2 pieces that we did do scoring to that have the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch score mark, we're going to fold on the scores. And we're going to apply adhesive just to the first 1/2 inch flap. The other 1/2 inch is going to be the gusset or the spine, whatever you want to call it, of this. So you're going to want to use score tape or wet glue here on this piece. And as always, I will be using my ATG for demonstration purposes. And I am just putting the adhesive again on this 1/2 inch flap here. Now what I like to do is fold this back so that the adhesive is sticking up, and then line this fold up with this cut edge here. And that way you'll be able to open it without it being obstructed or anything like that. And then you can fold it over just to make sure that you can still fold this. I'm going to do the same again. Again, this is the back that I'm gluing these to. So I'm going to fold it, the 1/2 inch flap with the adhesive at the top. I'm going to flip it over. So now the adhesive is facing down. This is the folded edge, and this is the cut edge of the 6x8. And I'm just going to line them up. And this is the basis of the folio. You can see that when it's open, it is 1 inch. You'll have 1 inch on each side. Okay. So on this side, on the front, I just decorated it, but on the inside, I have 2 pockets. Now this is where the 6x4.5 inch pieces come. We cut 2 of them, and I'm just going to fold on the score marks. And this is what we're going to do to all of the pockets. So I'm just going to prepare all of the pockets now. Folding on all the score marks on the 2 pockets, and then the other 3 that are 7 inches. Oops, can't even see what I'm doing here. That was the 4.5 by 7. This is the 3.5 by 7 piece. Because you're going to do the same exact thing to all 3 of these pockets. So this is the 2.5 by 7 piece. Whoops, you want to make sure the fold is straight. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get out some scissors, and not those, and we're going to cut out the little square that is formed on the bottom. You can see that square there. We're going to cut up at a diagonal like this, and then down at a diagonal like this. So it just cuts out the square, and it leaves a little miter, just like if you were trying to put trim on a window. We're going to do that to all 5 of these pieces. We're going to set the 3 aside that are the ones that we had measured at 7 inches. We're going to set those aside. And now we're dealing with the 4.5 by 6. And again, I'm cutting this off. So we have that. And again, on all these flaps, let me move this out of the way a little bit so you can see. On all these flaps, this 1/2 inch mark, you're going to want to use some kind of really strong adhesive, whether it be score tape or double-sided sticky tape or whatever you call it. It seems like the same brand makes them because they all say Suquang on the back of them, whether it's happy tape or whatever it's called, or wet glue. You don't really want to use ATG gun like I am using, but as you know, it's cheaper than score tape. So I just use it for my tutorials. So now I'm putting my pocket on, and I want to make sure that I am on the left of this score line right here. The score line, I want to make sure I'm just a little bit over, so that my pocket or my page still flips over. And I'm applying the pocket on the left flap. I'm going to apply the pocket on the right flap. Again, I'm just on the outside of that fold line there. Okay. So now these little pieces that we made, we're going to get out our 2 diagonal our piece of paper that we cut in a diagonal. This is going to be a pocket here, and this is going to be a pocket there. So what I need to do is I'm going to unfold my little 1-inch sheet, and I'm going to apply tape on each side. Now I'm going to fold it up. I'm going to flip my pocket over, and you do want to kind of dry fit it to make sure that you're putting your pocket on the right side there. And I'm going to do another piece, and I'm going to put it on the bottom like this. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to cut off the excess. And I'm also going to flip it over here, and I'm just going to cut these at a diagonal. Whoops-a-daisy, like that. So I have this here. Now, when you put this on here, you're going to have to do a little finagling with the pocket itself, because if you don't, you won't be able to stick a complete tag in there. So inside there, you'll see that gusset there. You can do one of 2 things. You can cut it first, or you can take your score knife and just kind of cut into the hinge. Well, because my pocket is not adhered on there with score tape, I'm gonna pop right off. Again, this is why you want to use score tape. And try to hold it on there. So what I was trying to say is you can just take your knife and run it along that, and then get your scissors in there and snip it. Or I'll show you on the second pocket the other way to do it. You cut it before you put it on there. So again, I'm putting my tape on there, bringing in my pocket here just to make sure that it's the right direction. My fold is along my cut line. And here's the second piece. Along the bottom, which is the straight one, we're going to flip it over and cut off the excess hinge again. And you could cut this bigger, score it, and then cut it in half, but this is the easier way, I think. So again, I'm going to cut these corners off that pocket there. Now, you can kind of put it on there, look at it, but not really stick it down. Take your scissors and cut like this. If you want to get technical about it, you can snip a little diagonal. There you go. So you want to cut basically where the opening of this other pocket is. So now you can put your flap down, and that is the easier of the 2 ways. But sometimes I get zealous and I stick my pocket down and I forget to cut first. So now you have the opening here, and then you can also stick here, and this opening isn't obstructed. Okay, so now the last of the pockets is the 3 pockets on the back. You're going to take your 3 pieces. This is 4.5 by 7, 3.5 by 7, and 2.5 by 7. And we already did the folding and everything, so now we're just going to stick adhesive on these 1/2 inch flaps here. And I'm going to do that to all 3 of them, and then we are going to stack them, one right on top of the other, and plop them down. So I'm leaving these extended out. I'm not folding those yet because I don't want my sticky to get anywhere else. If you're using score tape, you could put the score tape on there and just not peel the backing off. So I'm sticking my 3.5 inch one on top of there in between the fold lines. You can see, you might not be able to see in my camera angle, but you will be able to see when you are doing it yourself, and I have cat hair all over. Now I'm sticking the 2.5 by 7 inch on top of the 3.5 by 7 inch, and this is going to make the 3 pockets. Now I'm just simply folding back the ones on the 4.5 sheet, and I'm sticking it in the middle of the score lines. There. And you know what I did? I forgot this diagonal pocket here. I'm not going to do it. I just did 2 diagonal pockets. You do it exactly the same way. But you can stick a diagonal pocket there. You can stick a diagonal pocket on the front one if you want. But that is how I made this album. I hope you guys like it. And if you make one, share it on my Facebook, Super Happy Scrapper. I have an Instagram. Tag me in your Instagram post. And don't forget to subscribe, like, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a happy 4th of July. And don't forget, I don't know what, but don't forget to do it. Bye.